Here it is, the news about the coronavirus. That's right, the news about the coronavirus. Here it is, the news about the coronavirus. That's right, the news about the coronavirus.
There have been more than 37,000 COVID-19 related deaths in the country so far. Around 1.1 million patients have recovered from the virus after receiving treatment. And cases around the world are reaching another grim milestone. According to data from Johns Hopkins University, the number of cases is now more than 18 million. More than 500,000 people have died from COVID-19. The United States has the highest number of confirmed cases with more than 46 million infections. Eli Lilly and Company is moving into a late-phase clinical trial of its antibody treatment for COVID-19. The pharmaceutical giant says it's recruiting 2,400 nursing home residents and staff for the trial, now entering its third phase. That population is the hardest hit by the pandemic. The hope is the therapy will offer protection and possibly ease symptoms for those who are infected. The trial will determine if a single dose reduces the rate of infection over a month. It will also determine if it can reduce COVID-19 complications over 2 months. Coming up, hockey returns. A recap of the Columbus Blue Jackets' first game back after a long pause. And during the break, you can stay up to date with the top headlines with the brand new Spectrum News app. Go to SpectrumNewsApp.com to learn more.
Every year, Americans throw 9 million tons of e-waste into landfills. Will this happen to your unwanted technology? At UNIT, your company's e-waste gets a second life. We'll refurbish unwanted devices and provide them to one of 80 million Americans who lack digital access. With an option for low-cost internet service and digital literacy training, they'll have a real opportunity to reach their goals. This is circular economy, and it works. For the people and the planet, be part of the circle.
Most summer events include a bright summery sales pitch. So here's ours. Any questions? The Acura Summer of Performance event. Our dealers are ready, and with online options available, you can shop our best offers any way you choose. Don't miss it. This summer, visit your Acura dealer today for attractive offers on the Acura RDX. Don't miss this event going on now.
Get excited for the plays, for the rush. Get ready to put your business inside the action. Advertising, live events, and coverage as our favorite sports return to TV. Spectrum Reach. We fan together.
Powerful tool you have in our democracy. Every vote does count. It is your chance to make sure that your voice is being heard. Here at Spectrum News 1, you're getting the information that you need. You're hearing from the policymakers so that you can make the decision. The real impact is right there in your local community where you live. Decision 2020 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
We know changes are happening. We know there's more to be done. Now, as our community rebuilds, we'll continue to support each other, caring for neighbors and family today, so we can all be together tomorrow. We know none of this has been easy. Thank you, Ohio. We're proud to tell your stories every day. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Northeast Ohio. I'm meteorologist Ashley Beatty, and we're watching chances for not only showers, but potentially a few these thunderstorms in this afternoon forecast as well. The good news is, because we saw a decent amount of cloud cover early today, we don't expect a whole lot of instability, allowing for much in the way of severe thunderstorm development. So while it can't be ruled out completely, it is highly unlikely. Still, watch out for the possibility of some flaps of thunder and some brief heavy downpours that will continue into this evening's forecast as well. We'll still be looking at chances for some showers and some thunderstorms gradually starting to clear things out overnight. And after around midnight, most of our, especially thunderstorm chances, are going to be gone, but the majority of our rain chances as well. Still some spot showers continue even into overnight tonight, particularly for areas right along the lake shore. So even 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, don't be surprised if you wake up to a few sprinkles. And then likely as those showers move on shore, they are going to intensify a little bit more. So by around 10, 11 a.m., some brief heavy downpours will be possible, and then we'll keep those thunderstorms in the forecast through at least early Tuesday afternoon, and then we'll start to clear things out a little bit more by Tuesday evening. So still keeping rain chances in the mix today as well as tomorrow, at least about a 30% chance for those showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday. But then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're seeing much more quiet conditions in the forecast. In fact, a really beautiful couple of days is coming our way in the middle of the week. So enjoy those, because the heat as well as the humidity are going to be coming back for the weekend. So back above average temperatures in the forecast, and Sunday really starting to feel a little bit more summery with our daytime highs in the upper 80s. Now this is right along the lake shore, but as we get away from the lake, we could see a few 90s returning to Northeast Ohio's forecast on Sunday afternoon. On Lake Erie, water temperatures in the 70s, winds lighter today out of the southwest at 5 to 10 knots, but again, there is that possibility of some thunderstorms. For your 7 days, starting Wednesday, we've got a nice dry, sunny stretch in the mix, but Friday, we're going back up into the 80s with mid to upper 80s in the forecast for the weekend. Businesses are now partnering up after entering a definitive agreement. Diamond Peak Holdings Corporation joined forces with Lordstown Motors Corporation to help it become publicly listed company. The transaction is scheduled to close in the fourth quarter of 2020. The combined company name will be Lordstown Motors Corporation. High school football teams across the state were allowed to start official practices this weekend, but some will have to wait a little bit longer. Both the Reynoldsburg and Hilliard school districts are postponing extracurricular activities, putting football on hold. Hilliard Darby's head coach says his team was in phase 2 of the National Federation of High Schools guidelines, which allows up to 50 athletes to gather for outside workouts. While he's frustrated by the decision, he supports his district.
I don't think this is by any means an school administrative issue with this. It's not. The directives are coming from the governor's office and the health departments, and their hands are tied. And they're as frustrated as the parents are, they're as frustrated as the coaches are, and they're as frustrated as the players are. And it's very unfortunate.
The school district has not noted how long activities will be postponed. Hockey is back, and Ohio is in the spotlight. Last night, the Columbus Blue Jackets played in its first game of the qualifying round for the Stanley Cup playoffs. The NHL is holding its playoff tournament in 2 hub cities in Canada, Edmonton and Toronto. The Jackets beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0, as you can see, in an empty arena in Toronto last night. Goaltender Joonas Korpisalo made 28 saves for the first playoff shutout of his career. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is warning you to be cautious of a product that might be sitting in your refrigerator. The USDA put out a health alert for frozen taquitos and chimichangas because they may have plastic in them. The alert includes multiple types of beef and chicken flavors. The ready-to-eat products have diced green chilies recalled by the producer, Sun Valley Foods. The notice warns customers to avoid products shipped nationwide under Jose Ole, Casa Mamita, and Walmart's Great Value brand. The agency says you need to throw each of these products out immediately. There are no confirmed reports of health issues related to eating them. The news continues on Spectrum News 1 all day long. After the break, we'll check your top headlines, and we'll have a look at your weather on the 1 forecast And in the meantime, here are some interesting facts about Ohio.
Ohio Fun Facts are sponsored by the Ohio Senior Health Insurance Information Program.
Spectrum Mobile is now the fastest growing mobile provider in the nation, growing faster than Verizon and AT&T, and even growing faster than T-Mobile. It's easy to see why. Spectrum delivers the fastest overall speeds and is the most reliable mobile service coast to coast. There are no contracts, added taxes, or fees. Switch and you could save up to 40% and see why Spectrum Mobile is the fastest growing mobile provider. Learn more at spectrummobile.com.
It's the real story of us. It's the real story of community. I'm Mary Lee Melendez, anchor reporter, Spectrum News 1.
Weather in Ohio is changing all the time.
We get winter one day and 60s the next.
At Spectrum News 1, our goal is refreshingly simple.
We bring you an accurate, reliable, and local forecast every 10 minutes.
We have an incredible, experienced team of people.
We don't just know about the weather, we know about Ohio.
You never have to wait for your forecast with your Weather on the Ones.
Weather on the Ones, every 10 minutes, exclusively on Spectrum.
Voting is a lot more than just casting your ballot. That is the most powerful tool you have in our democracy. Every vote does count. It is your chance to make sure that your voice is being heard. Here at Spectrum News 1, you're getting the information that you need. You're hearing from the policymakers so that you can make the decision. The real impact is right there in your local community where you live. Decision 2020 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
We know changes are happening. We know there's more to be done. Now, as our community rebuilds, we'll continue to support each other, caring for neighbors and family today, so we can all be together tomorrow. We know none of this has been easy. Thank you, Ohio. We're proud to tell your stories every day. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum. It's 2 o'clock. Have questions about COVID-19? Visit coronavirus.ohio.gov.
Terribly sad day for our city. I am amazed by the quick response of Dayton police that saved literally hundreds of lives.
Nearly 1 year later, right now in Spectrum News 1, we are remembering the tragedy that claimed 9 innocent lives, the Dayton mass shooting that happened 1 year ago tomorrow. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Lindsay Oliver. This week, Spectrum News 1 will be covering events in and around Dayton in remembrance of that tragic shooting. We'll have more on that in just a minute, but first, we're joined by meteorologist Ashley Beatty with a check of our Weather on the Ones forecast, and Ashley, that wet weather is continuing.
Yeah, moving through the rest of the afternoon and even into tonight. Widespread showers, and along with that, a few claps of thunder will be in our forecast as well. The drier air, though, does make a comeback towards the middle of the week. Let's get right to your Weather on the Ones. We've been tracking showers and heading through the afternoon. We are likely going to see some claps of thunder, but thanks to many of us seeing a good amount of cloud cover early in the day, it looks like the vast majority of those storms are going to stay well below severe level criteria. Still, we're starting to see more sunshine, so a couple of more potent storms with some gusty winds, a brief downpour, and of course cloud-to-ground lightning will be possible. That's not certainly something we're going to see on a widespread scale. However, showers are. We're going to continue to keep those rain chances in play through the afternoon and into this evening as well. And at times, some heavy downpours, some claps of thunder, and some gusty winds will certainly be possible, but again, expecting most of our storms to remain well below severe levels. With more clouds in place, however, they start to break up during the afternoon. Some of us are going to stay in the 70s, but where we do manage to get a little bit more sunshine, we're going to get those readings up into the low to mid 80s this afternoon. 85 today in Athens, 84 Columbus, and staying in the low 80s for Northwest as well as much of southwestern Ohio. I'll have more details on when 90s make a comeback for many of us. That's just ahead in the next few minutes.
Tomorrow marks 1 year since the mass shooting in Dayton's Oregon District, a tragic event that took the lives of 9 innocent people. Several events are set to mark the anniversary. Dayton's Darkest Summer, The Rise from Tragedy, is being re-released tonight at 7 p.m. It's a 17-minute documentary about the mass shooting. A photo mosaic is also set to be unveiled tomorrow, and there will be 9 minutes of silence observed tomorrow at 8:04 p.m. to remember the 9 shooting victims. We'll be bringing that to you live right here on Spectrum News 1. Many of those who knew the victims are still working to recover from the loss. Our Camry Nelson shares how one victim's son is doing what he can to move forward.
It's been a long road to recovery for Dion Green, who lost his father, Derek Fudge, on the night of August 4th, 2019.
I never thought I'd be a victim of gun violence. I'm a survivor and a victim because I was there and I lost my father in the shooting.
A year later, Green still struggles to move forward with the pain he endured from that tragic night. But his path to recovery began with forgiveness and healing.
So I forgave the shooter's parents and the family. You know, I don't forgive, but I can't hold that anger and then be trying to tell other people not to. I have to lead by example.
One of the ways in which he is healing is by sharing his story. This year, he published his book called Untitled, Act of God, Act of Man.
It just shares my dark times going through them situations. And it started from a form of therapy, going to counseling, and I was just writing and venting, and I just started writing, and I ended up just creating a book.
In addition to his book, he also created the Fudge Foundation, which stands for Flourishing Under Distress, Giving Encouragement. Through his nonprofit, he hopes to help others like him heal.
I know what it is, getting in that dark tunnel, and if there's nobody there to support or help you out, you can be lost to suicide, to addiction, and to many other illnesses that can occur from depression.
Green says he is forever grateful for the support he received from his family and friends who helped him through these hard times.
I received great support from the community, from the family, from the country. And, you know, every time I do an interview, I always let them know that I appreciate them from blanketing me with strength from going down a dark tunnel.
Moving forward, Green says he would like to see better gun legislation, and he is committed to helping other survivors of gun violence.
I've been there, so I'm going to hold other people's hands and help them get through it too, so we can all shine together.
To learn more about his book and the Fudge Foundation, visit DionGreen.com. For Spectrum News, I'm Camry Nelson.
Perhaps a positive trend when it comes to the coronavirus here in Ohio. For the third straight day, the Department of Health is reporting fewer than 1,000 new cases. To be exact, it added 932 cases to its count today, keeping the total below 94,000. And once again, all of the major metrics saw increases that are less than their 21-day averages. The 10 new deaths are the lowest in that category in more than a week. Nearly 11,000 Ohioans have been hospitalized from the virus. Tens of thousands of Ohioans have had their unemployment benefits suddenly put on hold, flagged because of fraudulent activity. As our Oria Gibbons explains, the impact is based on who you bank with, and there is no word on when those legitimate claims will begin processing again.
My bills are getting astronomically high, which...
We first talked to Renee Mock a few months ago when she was awaiting PUA benefits. She got them a month ago, but then this week...
I would get them by Monday afternoon. When I didn't get them, I went into my PUA account and did some searching, and there was an issue in the issue and determination box that said fraud.
One of thousands whose benefits is now on hold because of a nationwide fraud investigation involving PUA. After waiting months for benefits in the first place, now she and many others are waiting again.
A little bit confusing, to say the least. So I'd say I'm still pretty frustrated with the unemployment system. I was happy for a month.
A Assistant Director for Unemployment Bruce Madsen says the issue affected specific banks that provide prepaid or online-only banking. Holds were placed on more than 270,000 accounts paying to MetaBank, Green Dot, Bancorp, which operates Chime, and other cards like GoBank. Madsen said they don't have totals on the fraud in Ohio yet, but the potential number is high.
States that were hit earlier than Ohio, that the amounts can reach $100 million. So these are not small operators. These are large-scale fraudsters who can drain a lot of public dollars very quickly.
The Department of Labor identified an increase in fraud activity back in May, but Ohio's PUA program didn't begin paying until June. It's the latest issue with the rollout of the federal program, but Hall says it's not connected to the data security incident in May.
This is not a failure on the part of the PUA system as designed by Deloitte. It's more access somehow to identity information that bad actors have acquired in some other space, and they're using it to apply for benefits.
Thank you.
Now mocking the estimated 50,000 or more Ohioans affected will have to resubmit verification documentation, including identity documents, bank accounts, and tax information, and wait for them to be verified. They must also fill out a questionnaire online and return it to ODJFS before the benefits can be released.
Why don't you send that fact-finding sheet out when you send the fraud notification out so that people at least know what's going on and they can start doing what needs to be done?
The department estimates that 80 to 90% of the 276,000 flagged claims are fraudulent. Director Hall says they're redirecting resources to handle the verification for valid claims, but reports in a Facebook group for PUA claimants say Ohioans have been waiting several weeks to be verified, and issues with connecting on the phones with reps continue.
We are streamlining that process for them this week, adding more resources to the phones so that we can get and move those verified individuals through the process.
Mark says though she's back to work, she's not up to her full wages, and now she's wondering again if she'll be able to make ends meet. Even when she gets her benefits back, the extra $600 in federal benefits won't be in her account since that has yet to be renewed in Congress. So she's left waiting once more.
At this point, I think they're going to have to work a little bit faster because it doesn't seem right to stop people that really need the benefits because they didn't get enough information in the beginning.
For Spectrum News, I'm Ori Gibbons.
With the stress of the pandemic, some are looking for a mini vacation to relax, but of course are also looking to stay safe. The Lodge at Geneva on the Lake offers a chance to get away and still feel out of harm's way. Our Taylor Bruck has the story.
We've all been cooped up inside for a while, advised to not travel across state lines, leaving many people eager for a break. Well, how about an in-state vacation?
It's a getaway right here in Ohio and right in your backyard.
The Lodge at Geneva on the Lake has reopened and also resumed their wine tours through Ohio's wine country, allowing staycationers to breathe out the stressors of life and breathe in fresh air.
Oh, that's the best thing about it. Everything's outdoors.
They offer 3 types of tours, the Signature, the Premium, and the Deluxe. All tourists visit 3 or 4 wineries, depending on their selection.
By the end, people are, they kind of, it feels lighter, it feels different, like there isn't a pandemic going on. And even though we all have to wear masks, everybody's been really great about it, and I think this gives us something to do that's positive.
The tours have been updated to accommodate COVID-19. Shuttles operating at a capacity of 8 guests instead of 14, and undergoing a deep sanitation and cleaning process in between each stop.
Vacationers can always turn their day trips into weekend getaways at the Lodge. There are plenty of areas outside to explore and relax.
Surrounded by the beautiful scenery of Lake Erie, Lauren says wine tour or not, tourists at Geneva on the Lake are bound to have a great experience.
We have one of the most fantastic views, I would say, on Lake Erie. So even if all you're doing is just staying here, enjoying the pool and the lake itself, the wineries are a bonus, I think.
I used to come out here at lunchtime just to get away from the phones and computers, and the lake has that calming effect.
With so much to do and explore, the Lodge at Geneva on the Lake is known to be a hidden treasure right in the heart of Ohio, allowing people to get offline and go outside.
We can relax and enjoy nature, the vineyards, and feel safe, which is very important because right now so many people don't feel safe.
For Spectrum News, I'm Taylor Bruck.
Northeast Ohio. I'm meteorologist Ashley Beatty, and thank you so much for checking in with us for your updated weather on the One's forecast. We'll continue to see some spot showers and a few claps of thunder into this evening. Notice how once we get into around 8, 9 o'clock, these storms really start to fizzle out, and much of our overnight time frame is going to be dry. However, I can't rule out a little bit of rain by early tomorrow morning, especially for some areas right along the lakeshore. But after midnight tonight, we should start to see that clearing line move through. Now, in terms of rainfall totals, we're not going to see too many heavy downpours here in northeastern Ohio, but there will be a couple of pockets where we can pick up maybe a half an inch of rain or so coming our way over the next 12 hours. Pretty patchy in terms of those thunderstorm chances, so we're starting to see a little bit more cloud cover building in along the lakeshore. Other spots clouded over more than others, and there are going to be some spots through the remainder of the afternoon where we do see a decent amount of sunshine between those rounds for some showers. Thunderstorm potential up until around 9, 10 p.m. After that, we really start to see that coverage dwindling. Overnight lows coming down into the 60s, 63 tonight, Youngstown, dropping to an overnight low of 65 degrees for Cleveland. Now, as far as our temperatures go over the next few afternoons, we're not going to see a huge change over the next couple of days. So Tuesday into Wednesday, even Thursday, we're keeping our afternoon highs in the 70s, so slightly below average for this point in the year. Now, heads up, if there is one day you will absolutely want to make sure you spend some time outside, it's going to be Wednesday. Cool temperatures, lots of sunshine, and then from there, Thursday looks great. Friday, we're going to start to build in a little bit more heat and also a little bit more humidity. First up, let's go ahead and bring you the updated 2 o'clock numbers on Tropical Storm Isaias. Winds are at 70 miles an hour. Now, this is just below Category 1 hurricane strength, and it's likely to have just enough time to become a hurricane once again before making landfall in the Carolinas later on tonight. From there, we're going to watch this start to curve a little bit more to the northeast. So that means we're not expecting direct impacts to us here in northeastern Ohio, but what it will do is be responsible for that little extra kick of moisture that we're going to see throughout the day on Tuesday and possibly even into very early Wednesday morning. A little bit of moisture coming in off the lake, but then behind that, much drier, cooler, comfortable conditions, at least briefly, come back into our forecast. Then we talk about a weekend where those temperatures do start to warm up. We reintroduce some humidity, and we talk about chances for late day showers and thunderstorms.
That's right.
That's 7 days coming up in less than 10 minutes. Now your Storm Track Weather Radar. After a popular app raised national security questions, one American company is looking to bring it stateside. That story more when Spectrum News 1 returns.
Watch live news on the go from your team at Spectrum News 1 with the new Spectrum News app. Your all-in-one destination for local news, weather forecast, and events. The new Spectrum News app, your community connection. Learn more at SpectrumNewsApp.com. Download on the App Store or get it on Google Play. Spectrum News 1, a new kind of news channel dedicated to refreshing storytelling and empowering communities across the Buckeye State. With your local forecast every 10 minutes and all of the essential news you need 24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Voting is a lot more than just casting your ballot. That is the most powerful tool you have in our democracy. Every vote does count. It is your chance to make sure that your voice is being heard. Here at Spectrum News 1, you're getting the information that you need